What up, QC crew? King Day is in the mother building.
Burn it up for so. JBRISKO, not know when was up. Run that shit, we had all the show. Say that shit for your camera.
Warning. Everything said in this video and on this platform is strictly my opinion and all alleged. Here, we speak about hot topics on YouTube and other social media platforms for entertainment and conversational purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised.
What it do? It's your homie King Day here in King's Corner, and I am back with another reaction video for you. Now look, today we are reacting to a story time about how a woman stalked another woman for 7 years and then tried to unalive her. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get straight into it. Look, I ain't gonna hold you. I never do. If you mess with me like I mess with you, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, like, comment, share. We're gonna get straight into this video. Let's get it. Let go.
Y'all know it's so funny. I was getting ready to tell my story about how someone stalked me for about 5 years. Not only did I have a dream about this person last night. Girl, like, this shit is just real crazy. Like, I think I'm ready to tell my story. I've had this girl obsessed with me for about, I don't know, since 2018 or whatever. Like, I purchased something from her store on Etsy, and I thought we was cool. But then, like, she ended up being, like, bad crazy, like, real crazy. Y'all know it's so funny. I was getting ready to tell my story
happened?
about. So I used to have an account on Etsy where I sold, like, some of my own merchandise and product.
Okay, you
and
had
I came
the
across
account.
another black small business owner. So, you know, me being a girl's girl, I'm like, oh, let me support her. So I supported her and bought one of her products. And shortly after I bought one of her products, like, she DM'd me on Etsy and was like, hey, I just want to thank you for, you know, supporting my business, blah, blah. And we just kind of kicked off from there.
Okay.
Mind you, I didn't think nothing of it. So she just kept messaging me back and forth. And at some point, we eventually formed a friendship. I gave her my number. She lived in another state. And I was thinking, okay, like, this is cool. You know, I'm always support another black woman. And at some point, she started following me on social media. Not really sure how she found me on social media, but I followed her back. So she started following me on my social media.
Your email and phone number?
I'm like, okay, so I'm not really thinking nothing of it. You know, I'm thinking she just want to, like, you know, support, be a girl's girl, whatever. So anyways, I started dealing with the guy, like, we were on and off or whatever. And I'm not really the type that you can play with. Either you in or you in. And if you out, you out. If you come back in, you got to put a ring on that finger. That's the only way you're really going to get my attention or get me to stay. Right. So that's what he did. In 2020, he came back. We got engaged the same year. Mind you, that when I tell you that's a story in itself, it's a story in itself, because we got back together during the Venus retrograde of 2020. And if you survived that or you've dated anybody during that time, girl, you know how that ended, okay? Okay. But anyways, so around that time, like in 2020, I remember that summer, like, she just popped up. Like, she'll call and be like, hey, I'm in Atlanta. I'm like, okay, cool. So, you know, I would say, hey, you can meet me at this spot, or we go out to eat. We go out to, like, little brunches, little hookah spots or whatever. And of course, me, like, I feel like if my friends travel to come see me, or they're traveling and visiting the city that I reside in, I always take care of the bill. It's just me. I don't know. It's a thing. I don't mind treating my friends. I love my friends. I don't like splitting the bill, right? Because my friends do the same for me. Like, if they invite me out, they take care of the bill. We never have separate checks.
Got it.
And in addition to that, like, you know, my partner at that time always made sure I was good. So, you know, lunch, dinner, whatever was most of the time on him. But I always noticed, like, she just kind of had, like, a weird vibe. Now, over the years, like, we started to get a little closer, especially in 2020. And she shared with me, like, some personal things about, like, how her mom doesn't like her. Like, she's had a very estranged relationship with her mom. And she had this huge disdainment for being identified as black. Mind you, she's a black woman. Okay. I'm a black woman. I'm Gullah Geechee, but at my core, I'm still going to identify as a black woman. She would always say weird things about, like, not identifying as a black woman. So that in itself was very strange to me. It correlated her sense of identity or lack thereof with the experience that she had with her mother growing up. Because if your mom don't like you and you never really learn how to tap into that feminine energy, I feel like that has long-term psychological effects if you don't heal that. So in a sense, I've always felt sorry for her. So she made, like, little comments, like little digs, like very minute digs I really didn't pay no attention because I know it was coming from a place of hurt. Like, I operate from a place of passion and compassion. So before I get upset at someone, I offer them grace. And I felt like I offered her a lot of grace, right? Because the things that she was saying wasn't blatantly disrespectful. It was like little small jigs. Like, for an example, the first time that she came to my home, she looked around and she's like, oh, you have crystals everywhere. I don't know how you could be protected with crystals. Little did I know that was a red flag in itself. I just did not know. But she would make little comments like that. And I was just like, what? Okay, like, you know, whatever. I'm not really thinking too much of it. The girl's weird, but, you know, maybe she's...
Y'all into crystals? Do y'all know anything about that? I've never dibbled and dabbled. I've never played with crystals. Not to say I've never been interested, because I remember a couple years back, it was all over my TikTok. Crystals, what type of crystals you should get. People was wearing, you know, the crystal necklaces. Coming to think of it, them same people that was acting like those crystals meant so much to them. They don't even wear them anymore. But anyways, they was, you know, making necklaces and putting the crystals in their phone. They're like, my phone's always with me. I'm putting a crystal in my phone, or putting a crystal on a bracelet. And again, I don't know if they were doing it because it probably was also trending, you know, on their For You page. But have you guys ever been into the whole crystal thing? How does it work? What does it do? I am not interested in it like I was back then, because I couldn't really wrap my mind around the concept. I really didn't understand what was going on with the crystals. And again, it was trending. What do trends do? Go around, come around. I'm sure it'll come back around. Right now, it ain't trending right now. But have y'all ever been into crystals? What type of crystals do you guys get? What do they do? What do they stand for? Why do you get it? How did you get knowledgeable about the crystals? What made you interested in the crystals? Let me know down below. I'm curious.
from a small town. She's from Gainesville, Florida.
Okay.
Actually, she's originally from the Bahamas, but when she was like a little girl, like 3 years old, like her mom stopped taking care of her and sent her to live with her grandparents in Gainesville, Florida. And I knew that she had like a really rough life. Like, she kind of grew up in the streets, kind of similar to Jocelyn Hernandez. And just for anybody that know, when you don't have a relationship with the first woman in your life, that really can affect how you form relationships with other women. Always been really graceful with her and understanding, like, hey, like, this is the long-term effects of her not building that relationship. So I'm going to be a woman that show her grace. And every now and then, again, like, she would make little comments like, oh, a queen is this, a queen is that. And I don't understand how somebody can identify themselves as a queen. And being queen, you have to be crowned in another village and all kind of weird shit she was just saying. Because when she came around and she came in my town, when people addressed me, they always called me queen. They either called me Queen Cat, Queen, or Thundercat. And I guess that kind of rubbed her the wrong way. But to identify as a queen does not necessarily mean that you rule over someone else or you demand respect from others. That's a part of it, demanding respect from others, but it's your essence. Being a queen is respecting your body, respecting your boundaries, being in tune with your inner being, being in tune with that boss bitch side of you. You know, that's what a queen is. It is to rule oneself in true confidence and true identity and true love and true acceptance. That's what it means to be a queen. It is to have full sovereignty over your body and your life and your destiny at the highest form of love and respect that's unique to you. That's what it means to be a queen. And walking in the essence as a queen, people instantly respect you. You're gonna have haters, of course, but those haters don't like to ever try you. So I guess that's something that she never witnessed up front from other women. So I guess that's something that she felt threatened by. And essentially, I just felt sorry for her. I felt really sorry for her. So I just didn't take things personal. Now, here's where it gets crazy, y'all. Okay. So back in like 2022, my fiance at that time, we decided like, this is not going to work for us. Like, we broke up. And girl, I'm going to tell y'all this. If you've ever said that God remove anyone from my life that is not for me, baby, when I tell you that prayer will sweep through like a reek, when I tell you that thing will clear out so quick, I did that prayer, and the next day, me and my ex-fiance broke up, and I was like, you know what? God, this is a sign. Divine, this is a sign. I'm going to take it. So, you know, he ended up sleeping in my office, but he stayed there for like about a month after we broke up. This was like back in April 2022. That's when we broke up. So around that time, I noticed that same girl, the girl that's stalking me, what are we going to call her? I wouldn't even give her name. We're going to call her Alex, okay? We're going to call her Alex. So at that time, Alex kept popping up to my house like every single week. Mind you, she lives in a different state. That's at least an 8-hour drive. She was popping up like 3 days a week. Driving back and forth 3 days a week. And I thought this was so strange. So whenever she would pop up at my house unannounced, I would always take her to the patio. Just something in me would tell her, let's not sit in the house. And on top of that, I smoke, she smokes. So I don't smoke in my house because I have a child. So we would always be on the patio the whole time. I would ask her, like,
Alex started popping up at my place immediately after my ex and I broke up. Mind you, I was completely fine after the relationship ended. I didn't need emotional support or anything. Okay, so she seems like Alex caught herself trying to be there emotionally, be an emotional support for the breakup, right? She wanted to be an emotional support animal. I'm just playing. But she caught herself, I guess, being there for her friend, right? During the breakup, but Thundercat is like, I don't need that. I don't feel no type of way. I'm good. But she allowed her to play the friend role.
Like, what are you doing here? Like, why are you in Atlanta, or bring you to Atlanta? And she would always say, I have a mentor. I'm here to see my mentor. And I'm like, 3 days a week and you driving up every day? Very strange. Mind you, remember that prayer I said, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget that. Let's remember that. Said the prayer. Y'all, tell me why every time after that, 3-4 times in a row, she got into a car accident on her way coming up here. She totaled her car, turned around, rented another car, totaled that car.
The rental?
Rented another car. Got in an accident with that car all within a 2-week time span. And then she kept trying to take flight. Things was happening with her flights. Y'all, if that wasn't God's protection, let me know if y'all want me to do a part 2 because it gets real juicy after that. I'm going to tell y'all what happens after that and how this person tried to unalive me. This bitch is crazy. So this is part 3 of the story of how my ex-friend tried to unalive me after stalking me for several years. If you haven't seen part 2, I suggest you go back and watch it. Like, y'all, I could not make this shit up. So I'm going about my merry way. And I noticed that she was just having like a lot of bad luck. Car accident, flights, and now another situation where her baby daddy snuck in the house and beat up her and her boo thing. Real crazy shit. It was almost like God was just trying to stop this girl from coming to see me. So we didn't talk for about a week. I figured maybe she just needed some time to focus on her life and try to get everything together. Totally understood. I did text her from time to time, but she never responded. So during this time, I noticed that she's like revamping her whole life. I'm here for a revamp. I'm like, hey, perfect. So she changes all of her social media handles from the Swamp Witch to her new business name, which is Goddess blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool, girl. I love that for you. But I noticed that she started doing all the things that I told her I wanted to do. I had an Amazon store. She got an Amazon store. I wanted to start a podcast. She wanted to start a podcast. I wanted to go to school for pure consciousness and intuitive life coaching. All of a sudden, she enrolled in school. Now, look, I'm out here for my friends bossing up their life. Like, yes, girl, because you're not supposed to stay the same person. And honestly, it really doesn't bother me if someone is doing something similar to me. Think about when you walk on a bread aisle. There are like countless brands of bread, but all of them are quite different. None of them are exactly the same.
Exactly.
So it doesn't matter if a person is doing the same thing as me. It won't be the same niche. It won't have the same taste, the same flavor, the same vibe. So it really doesn't bother me.
Right.
If your friends are inspired by you, that's what it's supposed to be. People are supposed to be inspired by you. That's how I took it. She's just inspired by what I'm doing. Cool. So here's where it got
And
weird.
what's for you is for you at the end of the day. So one night I go to bed and I have another dream of her. But in this dream, she manifested as like a hag. Now, again, for those of you who don't know, I'm Gullah Geechee. So a hag to me in my culture is like an old witch that's trying to ride you and take your energy from you, like they sit on your chest in your dream. I didn't have sleep paralysis or anything like that. Like That's what I was just about to say.
I could just see her as a hag coming in my dream.
Oh, okay.
And as I'm waking up from my dream and she's coming to me in my dream, but she's not touching me. As I'm waking up from my dream, she's calling me. This is 6:08 a.m. in the morning. Girl, I was like, what is going on here? Oh my God, what is going on here? So she calls me again and I answer. And she's like, hey, what are you doing? I was like, I was asleep. Like, what's up? You know? And I'm still kind of like out of it. Like, I don't know if you've ever woke up from a strange dream and life just kind of hit you real quick. Like, you're kind of like a little bit out of it. And that's how I felt. And she calls me and says like, hey, I'm just checking on you. At 6 a.m. in the morning. 6 a.m. in the morning. Okay, very strange. So I start my day, didn't think nothing of it, right? Then all of a sudden, like around maybe 11 a.m. this morning, I get another call from her. And she calls me and said, hey, I took a flight to Atlanta. Like, my bags are lost. Like, I have no one to come pick me up. Can you come pick me up from the airport? Y'all, when I tell you, I just had the most horrible, gut-wrenching feeling. And I truly regret not listening to this feeling. So, as a good friend, I go and I pick her up from the airport. When I go pick her up from the airport, she doesn't have any bags, anything. Like, she's just standing off to the side. I guess she was trying to rent a car when she touched down in Atlanta, but they flagged her name with every car rental company and she could not rent a car. She said that she was down there to visit her mentor for a day. I'm like, okay, you're visiting your mentor for the day, but you packed the luggage? Okay, all right, whatever. And she was like, oh my
Sound like
God,
a turnaround.
like, you know, I need to take a shower. Like, can I come to your house? Mind you, when she got in the car, she smelled like really, really, really bad. And she broke out in like pimples all over her face. So I was like, oh my God, poor thing. Like, she's probably really stressed. So I'm like, okay, cool. You can take a shower at my place. So we drive back to my place. Mind you, all the times that she's ever come to my house, we've never stayed inside of my house. I've always taken her to the patio. Remember that. So we get to the house. I get her a towel. I show her where my room is. My room is like connected to my bathroom. Like, you go into my room, my bathroom's there, and right around the corner is my closet. So I get her a towel, I get her everything, you know, I mean, all nice. I'm like, oh my God, let me set the temperature for you, blah, blah, blah. And I let her take a shower. I decided to go out in the patio and, you know, finish smoking my hookah. And I just had this really strong feeling, like this really overwhelming, it was an extreme overwhelming feeling. And I don't know, something was just telling me, like, she's going through your shit. Like, she's going through your stuff. Because she'd been in there for, like, more than half an hour. So as I get up and I go inside to check on her, she's walking out. But I just had this feeling that she was just going through my stuff. So as I'm trying to shake this feeling, she's like, I actually decided to not see my mentor today. I'm just going to hang out with you for a little bit until my flight leaves. Her flight was like a turnaround flight. It was like at 3 o'clock or something. Now, if you live in Atlanta, you know it's best for you to leave kind of early, like hours before your flight, because traffic is crazy. So pretty much she just took a shower and we hung out for a few minutes, and then I was taking her back to the airport. I just thought this was real strange. I'm like, why did she come all the way here to cancel on her mentor, take a shower, and leave? It is real strange to me. So I take her back to the airport, didn't think nothing of it. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, this is just so strange. Like, I feel like she just went through my shit. I don't know. I've never
she had
felt
luggage.
before. I feel like she went through my shit. Fast forward a few days later, you know, I'm doing my thing, and I decide to take a hike in one of my favorite trails in Atlanta. It has a beautiful waterfall. I love to go there and sit by the water. So I'm sitting by the water. I have my feet in the water, right? And that day, I'll never forget this day. That day, I was wearing my Freda shirt. I think I have a picture of it. I'll tag it here. I was wearing my Freda shirt and had flowers on here, and I was wearing some biker shorts, right? Just sitting over there vibing. I get a call from her, and she's just telling me about, like, her day, and, you know, we're just chatting it up. And then she goes, oh, I just look such a mess today. Like, I'm wearing this floral shirt with some little tight shorts on, and I just look like a stud bitch. She was describing what I had on that day.
What?
Now, mind you, when she called me, I was bent over, like, kind of like this, so you could only see the flower pots, because I had, like, my hand in the water and my feet in the water. But she was describing everything I was wearing. I'm like, is this bitch watching me? And, like, all the thoughts just went through my head. I'm like, how could she watch me if she's in Florida? This bitch is crazy. Stalker or no stalker, you're not going to disrespect me.
Right.
Period.
Let's get to
So
it.
since we took the tone from nice nasty to blatant disrespect, I'm going to be real classy. So I responded to her and I said, well, you call it a mess and I call it an effortless slay. That was my way of letting her know, like, bitch, I see you. Because I don't care what you've been through in life, you won't sit here and disrespect me to my face. But again, I'm all about never letting a person see me sweat. Never. When I tell you, she was silent. So I said, okay, babe, well, I'm going to talk to you later. But it was obvious that she was watching me. So, girl, I already scooted up my stuff and got the hell on up out of there, okay? I scurried out that waterfall so goddamn quick, got in my car, head back home. You're on ice. It's too weird for me. I was understanding to the situation with her upbringing. I was understanding about her identity. I was understanding when she made comments about my identity. Understanding and graceful when she insulted my home. Understanding and graceful when she started copying me. I've never done nothing to this girl to ever disrespect her. Never stole from her. Never talked about her kids. Never fucked her man. Nothing. Nothing for that blatant disrespect. Ever. I think some people confuse giving someone grace with being green. There's nothing green about me. I don't have to deal with this in my life. You can go. You can leave. You can leave. Dismiss.
Especially somebody I met on Etsy.
I didn't tell her anything.
Basically.
Didn't respond to her phone call. All of a sudden, I get this random Instagram message from this random fake page with a message that says, hey, babe, there's a lot of bad energy around you. I could just feel the aura around you. I think someone tried to curse you. Please. I don't have time for this. Please. No, it's you, girl. But I couldn't prove it. So I just blocked the page. I'm going to tell y'all this straight up. I consider myself a very highly intuitive person. I've always had a strong intuition ever since I was a little girl. And over the years, I allowed people to gaslight me into not trusting myself and not believing my gut. But in 2022, that year, I really stepped into my power and trusting myself. And I feel like the longer that I kept this girl around, the more I was doing a disservice to myself and dishonoring myself by not listening to that gut feeling that something is really off with her and she's a person that I just cannot trust. I feel like she's a person that would hurt me. Especially after the comment where I was by myself by the waterfall and she described everything I had on. So the next day I prepare to take a flight to go pick up my daughter from her summer vacation spot. And at this point, I tell no one. Only person that knew I was coming to get my daughter was my mom and my ex-fiance because he booked the flight for me. Still cool. We broke up or whatever, but we're still cool. At least so I thought. My flight is 7 a.m. in the morning. That morning, as I'm preparing to pick up my daughter, I get up super early, I do my routine, and I decided to meditate. As I meditate, I hear my intuition saying, hey, you're about to move, but you might not like the circumstances. It freaked me out a little bit, but whatever. So as I'm preparing to leave, something in me was telling me hey, go back and open your window. There's a window by my front door, and there's another window on the other side of the front door. I open up the window slightly. I leave. I head to the airport. I get on my flight. I landed safely, pick up my daughter. When I arrived back in Atlanta, I was in a car with my daughter on the way back home, and I received a call from the leasing office. My entire apartment was on fire. So I called my ex-fiance because that's the closest person to my house. He just gotten off of work. I said, hey, I need you to stop by the house. I'm in traffic in Atlanta. Apparently my apartment's on fire. I did not know what to think. This was my home. I've lived on my own since I was 19 years old. I created this place, this beautiful place that I've managed to protect for so many years. I dreamed of my home since I was 17 years old, and I was able to create this loving, soft, nurturing, beautiful environment that represented me. So eventually I pull up to my apartment and it's fire trucks everywhere. Police is everywhere. I didn't want my daughter to see that, so I asked her to stay in my ex-fiance's car. And I'm just wondering, is everyone okay? Are my pets okay? Because I have a dog and a cat. And as soon as I get out of the car, the first thing I see the firefighters carrying out this quilt that my great-grandmother made for me. That quilt was in the apartment. So I'm just okay, maybe this is a good sign. I see that no one's hurt. My pets are outside. They are safe. My cat was given oxygen by the firefighters, and my dog was being held by another firefighter. Fortunately, one of the maintenance guys heard my animals inside, and they went through the window that I left open, climbed in and opened the door and let my dog out. And some of the firefighters went in there to find my cat, and they found my cat. The first thing I ask everyone is everyone okay? All my neighbors, they were fine. Everybody made it out. So the firefighters conducted their investigation, and they determined that, oh my God, y'all, this is hard for me. They stated that it started in the middle of my office. They said that the pressure built in there from the smoke, and it shut the door to my office. There was a broken window from the outside of my office. So something could have been thrown through the broken window into my office and set everything on fire. Remember when I told you that my great-grandmother's quilt was being carried out as I pulled up? That quilt was in the office. When I went into the office to go look, everything was gone. Everything was gone. My office was my space where I took my clients, all my business information, paintings and memories. All of my daughter's artwork was in there. And the one thing that didn't burn in my office was my great-grandmother's quilt. I don't know what anybody believes, but if you ever had any questions or calling about working with the Most High and honoring and venerating your ancestors, this is a sign. Because I promise you, my great-grandmother prayed for me and she showed up that day. Shortly after that, I get a call from that same girl from Florida, and she says that she was looking for me. Wait, after this, it gets crazier.
What? She was looking for you?
Oh, my. Stalker or no stalker? Yes, bitch. Really burnt down my motherfucking apartment. Oh, I was so fucking distraught. Like, I was like, I cannot believe this happened. Like, my mind was just racing 1,000 miles an hour. My mom, I let her know what's happening. I'm like, hey, there's a situation. I need to send my daughter to stay with you for a little bit until I figure things out. Because I was not allowing her to stay with me while I was going through this process. Like, as a mother, I believe in creating a stable and healthy environment for my children. So I sent my daughter to stay with my mom for a little bit. See, I did not want her to see me in that state because life just got fucking real. Remember I told y'all about following your intuition? Baby, at that point, once the house fire happened, I listened to it. I wasn't questioning that shit no fucking more. No gaslight, no nothing. So I went ahead and blocked Alex on everything. I blocked her on Instagram, everything, Snapchat, TikTok. I even blocked the 3 burner pages that she made. In my mind, I was like, she got something to do with this. I'm not police at all, and I feel like it would have been hard to prove it. And on top of that, I just didn't really want to get into all of that. Like, I was more focused on,
so you didn't report it.
Yo, I just lost my shit.
To be
I
her.
call a few days later from an unknown number. And guess who it is? It's fucking Alex.
And what she want?
The only thing I said was, hello. He just starts yapping off at the mouth. Oh, hey, girl. I've been looking for you. I've called the hospitals. I've called the jails. I've been calling the funeral homes. I've just been looking for you. I haven't heard from you.
What you calling them places for?
What the hell?
I didn't tell this girl nothing about the house.
Right.
I haven't posted on social media. I didn't really tell anybody.
That's my question exactly. What's on the screen? Why look for me in those places if she wasn't expecting anything to happen to me? Mind you, we were not close friends. You've been calling a hospital. Huh? And the funeral homes. What you calling them for?
We don't even know the same mutual friends. I want that to be clear. We don't even brunch together. We do not know the same mutual people. Maybe we might follow the same accounts on social media, but she don't know my people's. And I sure as fuck don't know hers. So how the fuck would she know that? She didn't call and say nothing else. She just called and said she was looking for me. Maybe that was confirmation right there. I was like, this bitch is crazy. I block her. I block her again. I didn't even tell her I had a house fire. I feel like she told on herself. The cockiness in her voice, like, yeah, I want you to know. Yeah, it was me. I'm going to be completely vulnerable when I say this. Like, that.
But why?
That situation affected me so bad. Like, I didn't know who to trust after that. I had a hard time bonding with people. This situation affected how I bonded and connected with my child's father. This affected how the way I bond and connect with other women for a while. It was just hard for me to trust people again. That situation was rough. I mean, and it fucked me up so much. My biggest lesson from the whole thing is learning to trust my gut. The entire experience made me truly reevaluate the type of people that I welcome into my life and how I define friendships. As a queen, like, it's important to have people around you that mirror the type of love that you give to yourself. And every time that you dishonor that, you're showing a lack of true self-love. And I feel like that experience taught me that. No matter how graceful you are to others, the number one person that you should show grace to is yourself. It took me years to trust people again. Years to create friendships and ultimately to trust myself. And honestly, the most important part, it took me years to forgive that person. I truly had to get to a point where I had to forgive her. Not forgive her so much for her. I had to do it for myself because
I was tired of walking around being so angry. I was just so angry and upset at her. I always think about that dream I had where she manifested as a hag. You know, a hag is someone that takes your energy. And I feel like more that I stayed upset at her, I was giving and feeding her energy. Because anger at someone else is truly just a poison. You are expecting the other person to die off of it, but it's a poison to yourself. You're the only one that's dying. They're going on about their life. They're happy, or so they seem. But you, on the other hand, you're miserable. Of course, I'm always going to be a girl's girl, but it was just hard for me to trust other women for a few years. I think the biggest thing that I learned is how I define my friendships with women. I know how I'm showing up, and I deserve that same love that I'm putting out. I truly root for my friends. And I told myself that if the friendship does not feel like Kiki Palmer and Meg Thee Stallion on the red carpet, I don't want it. I don't make excuses for anyone anymore, as I am healing and releasing this past in my life and owing this type of loyalty to myself first. It reminded me of the prayer that I said, God, if there's anyone in my life that is not meant to be there, remove them. I said that prayer, I'm here to tell you for real, you need to trust that. Don't let these people back into your life, because the Most High will show you the snakes in your garden. If you let these snakes come back into your life, trust me, they are going to bite you. So my ex at that time was like, you know, I have extra property. You can stay there for a couple of days, like, because he had like one apartment and he had another apartment. I guess he was trying to Airbnb. I found out that my ex-fiance was down low.
What?
I really just, y'all, I couldn't catch a break. Yes, bitch, really burnt.
So the story went kind of fast. She said she was stalked for 7 years. The story didn't really take us through 7 years of a friendship. It seemed more like a couple of months. But all in all, met the girl on Etsy. They had, you know, a little shop. Black girl magic, black girl power, pro-black, pro-sister, pro-let's stick together. Got together. The girls start coming to Atlanta, popping up in Atlanta, showing up unannounced, saying she was there to meet with a mentor and it wasn't really there to meet with a mentor. I just want to know, and for what reason did she have to want to unalive Thundercat? And I'm not going to sit here and act like people are not just crazy. People are crazy, okay? People are most definitely crazy. They do crazy things. You know what I'm saying? But I wish we would have had a little bit more context as to why would she want to? Like, is it just pure jealousy? Because that's what I'm getting from it. A little jealous, a little envy of Thundercat and wanted to take her out. That's what I'm getting. But I wonder if it was something deeper. I guess that's one thing that we would never know. Do you guys ever find yourself ignoring your intuition? Your intuition is telling you to do something, telling you to say something, telling you to act on something, and you're just like, maybe I'm overthinking, maybe that's not what it is, and reality set in and life hit you and you realized I should have listened to my mind, or my gut rather. I should have listened to my gut when I felt that I should have done X, Y, and Z. If y'all want to share some of your experiences down in the comment section. I want to get up in y'all business just a little bit. You hear me? But also tell me what you think and why you think this woman was coming to allegedly unalive her friend. I personally feel like she definitely gave it away when she said, I've been caught in the hospitals and the funeral homes and all these random places looking for you. That's weird. That's weird. Especially if Thundercat didn't even tell her that she had this incident at her house. Why are you calling those places? That's weird. I don't know. But that's all I got for you today. Look, if you like videos from me and you want to see more is to come. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, because right now, King Day is out. Peace. The motherfucking building.
Run it up, was up. JBRISKO, not know when was up. Run that shit, we had all the show. Say that shit for your camera.